Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Mango the GOAT. This is another mental liberation moment, and this is the IIP. IIP stands for Involuntary Immigrants Podcast. Today I'm going to take y'all on a voyage. You know Charles Dickens? This is a Mango Carol, okay? We're going to talk about the ghost of nigga past, the ghost of nigga present, and the ghost of nigga future. What sparked this on is because a nigga asked me, why are they making all of these slave movies? It came about because Will Smith has a new movie. And I said, I'm not going to support it. But he says, why do they always got to make us these slave movies? Like the only history we have here is as slaves. And I told my brother, first off, on the Will Smith movie, the reason I'm not supporting it is because the brother he's portraying in that movie was a whole Negro. But he did the same voice he used from Concussion playing the African doctor. And I had a problem with that because it Africanized what is the newfound Negro. Negroes didn't really talk too much like that. So he just kind of categorized the person he was portraying, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I felt. But it's an easy answer. I said the reason why we get so many slavery movies and this and that, because slavery is the foundation of our history here. It's the foundation of our history here. That's the start of our history here. I said, now, we did plenty great things and plenty wrong. Plenty great, did plenty things wrong and all this and that, but our history is niggas. Start off in the foundation of slavery. That's when the nigga was made. Not a black person, but the nigga was made. See, the schools teach 1619. See, I learned listening to Farrakhan. It was 1550s. 69 years is more than enough time to eradicate a people's knowledge of history itself. And that was the Jesus slave ship, whatever. Now, you have a lot of Pan-African brothers and sisters that prefer, we're kings and queens. And I'm not going to insult them here, for what may be their coping and defense mechanisms when trying to fight the depression or treatment of ancestors of our people. Not here to do that. My critique with Pan-Africanism is this. Africa is the biggest continent on the face of this motherfucker, whether you think it's round or flat. It's the biggest continent. So, in a sense, even the sunducker is African. Because all life comes from Africa. It's the cradle of civilization. So with that being said, even the sunducker is African. Or Alkebulan, however you want to put it. Right? But even the sunducker is African, just like the descendants of involuntary immigrants. But they too cannot make a bet on the lives of their children that they can 100% accurately name the region, country, or tribe in which they come from in Alkebulan or Africa. The next thing you have, it seems a little more logical to me, but I'm also not 100% sure of it. And that is that many descendants of involuntary immigrants may not be involuntary immigrants' descendants, but rather prisoners of war in their own land by way of divide and conquer techniques among the natives in the lands of the Americas. To my illiterate brothers and sisters listening, what I'm saying is, nigga, us was here already. Now, they use this divide and conquer and chemical warfare with blankets and violence to turn us into prisoners of wars and then slaves. Now, it makes sense because why did they not also enslave the so-called Indian? They were here already, right? And there was a whole bunch of them, right? You can cut the transportation costs of getting niggas from the West of Africa going through the sea and all that. You already eradicating these people such and such. Well, you just enslave them. They already know the land. They know how to work it. Da, da, da. So why would you go bring more people? So I can understand where people come from with that. See, the Pope gave permission to enslave Africans because he said they was pagans, right? Well, shit, they also called the Indian a pagan. So why would they not too enslave? That makes it seem subconsciously that the Negro was docile, agreeable, dumb, and easier to conquer. Now, you also learn that the so-called Indian tribes, except for one or two, they didn't even like Negroes. They were also slave catchers. I laugh when I always I tell Joe, when we sing, I got this Indian in my family. When she get that good weave, then get that Indian in my family. In the end, you still a nigga, bitch. So everything I just mentioned is all a spoken truth to somebody. Somebody believed that shit. You know, they believe one of those sides or the other side. Maybe they believe all of it, which, you know, that's the past, which that brings me to the present. What difference does it matter if I cannot show and prove? That means I can only move on faith or hope of the past. The only reason to need faith and hope for something is because of the yearning just to feel something more. But as a nigga, all that could have been maybe possible history didn't mean shit when dealing with a system not meant for reaching God Jr. status. The nigga is a human with a general history predating slavery, but not a definite one. Because what I call it the Operation Eradication. Now, I heard an Indian motherfucker named, I don't know if I'm saying it wrong, it's Saad H. Guru, right? He said, not being rooted in reality is insanity. And I believed that shit ever since I heard it. See, the past is over and there's nothing we could do about it. But if it was an injustice in the past, the present will mimic the past if not corrected and acted and an action of justice not applied to it. See, no African country is withholding resources from European and Asian nations until the return of its people. Them African booty scratching motherfuckers who run countries over there, they don't even miss or want us fucking back. In fact, they don't even own they don't even treat their own close relatives proper. And that's why so many of them coming over to our country, built by niggas who's raised on soul food, and what they bring to the table is jollof and fufu and insulting the meal that granddaddy and big mama made. They insult the food that granddaddy and big mama made with the scraps they was given. Now recognizing your position in a system that is built on the foundation of your demise is how you break your self-oppression and say, fuck it, let's get it then. I have noticed this trend of conservative niggas being called sellouts, coons, Uncle Toms by gangster rappers. I don't have I guess a lot of my views seem conservative, but I'm not affiliated with nothing but IP. But I noticed a lot of these conservative niggas being called sellouts, coons, Uncle Toms by gangster rappers. And I understand it because in our community, the nasal talking college educated Carl Winslow niggas, the ones that talk like, hey, well, you know, I really feel like, the nasal talking motherfuckers is what I call them. Them niggas seem like they not in tune with their blackness because they not moving how the people move. They're not moving how the culture moves. But if you make $1 million talking toxicity to the hood, you may get out of the hood, but being a powerful messenger, you might have motivated 100,000 young brothers to never leave that bitch. I don't think 1 for 100,000 is a great trade, nigga. Not to mention the death that comes with the drill rap. The death that comes with all of it. Because it's poverty, but you promoting survival tactics in poverty. So, speaking on the now, this is why this is up here. Because saying how that college educated nasal talking motherfucker that talks like that, saying how he is a coon, he bad for black people, he da. But at the same time, nigga, you just made a song about how you would shoot a nigga and doing this and that and nigga. And ain't nobody talking about shooting. Nobody talking about shooting George Zimmerman. I'm not telling y'all to go do it. But if somebody did it, I wouldn't be mad. But nobody's saying, shoot this motherfucker over there, shoot this motherfucker over here. And here's why. The true white supremacists are media companies that pay niggas for toxicity. You notice they don't pay rock and roll people to make songs about gats and all of that shit. They don't pay for that. Rock and roll people making songs about, country people making songs about, drinking beers, pickup trucks and love and shit like that. The rock and roll people making songs about whatever. The pop people making songs about nothing. You got that other side of rock. Maybe they doing gangster rock, but I don't understand because motherfuckers talk like they throwing up. Like, no, that weird shit. But we get paid the most money for toxicity. The most of our new urban songs are toxicity. And the songs that's really saying some positive shit or some shit that you can build on or some shit like that, those songs don't get back that much. But they're going to make a song tell you to, hey, bitch, get to that red light, start twerking on your headlights. See, shit like that, it's a real thing. So, you know, that's my take on the present. And at last, this is my favorite part. It's the future. The future is yours to determine, Mangaloids. The future is yours. It's in your hands. You're welcome.
To reclaim the American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many we are one.
You hear that line? Line's for you. Don't make me laugh. We're one people. It's a myth created by Thomas Jefferson. Oh, now you never go with Jefferson, huh? My friend, Jefferson's an American saint because he wrote the words, all men are created equal. Words he clearly didn't believe since he allowed his own children to live in slavery. He was a rich wine snob who was sick of paying taxes to the Brits. So yeah, he wrote some lovely words and aroused the rabble, and they went out and died for those words. While he sat back and drank his wine and fucked his slave girl. This guy wants to tell me we're living in a community. Don't make me laugh. I'm living in America. And in America, you're on your own. America's not a country. It's just a business. Now fucking pay me.
Involuntary. Done contrary to or without choice. Involuntary.
Immigrant.
Done contrary
Definition
to
1.
or without choice.
Person who immigrates.
Involuntary.
Immigrant.
Done contrary
Definition
to
1.
involuntary.
Person who comes
Done
to
contrary to or without choice. Done contrary to or without choice. Done contrary to or without choice.
Definition 1. Immigrant. Definition 1. Unknown. Person who established. Unknown. Unknown. Established.
Trying to free your mind.
What white people have to do is try to find out in their own hearts why it was necessary to have a nigger in the first place. But if you think I'm a nigger, it means you need it. The question you got to ask yourself, the white population of this country's got to ask itself, North and South, because it's one country, and for a Negro, there is no difference between North and the South. There's just a difference in the way they castrate you.
Who taught you to hate yourself?
Involuntary. Done contrary to or without choice.
Immigrant. Definition 1. A person who immigrates. Definition 2. A plant or animal that becomes established where it was previously unknown.